Hey guys, good evening and welcome in to a very special night, a very special stream. We are here for the Async Finals for this season for the Cardboard Warriors asynchronous season. I'm joined by a couple of my best buds. We've got Spence over here and we've got Ghouls in the house as well to commentate over these two players who have made their way through this grueling bracket. And we're now to this point where here we are. It's finals time, baby. So, guys, initial thoughts for tonight?
I think it's going to be an absolute, just super entertaining matchup. I mean, both of these guys are top notch. They have had to go through quite the bracket to get here today, including Spence and I. They each one of them, had to go through us, and also a couple of other really good players. And the matchup itself. I mean, these are both like decks that are coming up. So it's gonna be great data for like how these matchups will go in the future. And I'm expecting a couple of close games. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I think we are going to see a bunch of back and forth. Both setup decks kind of, and both decks are aiming to have completely different strategies though once they do get set up. Somebody's trying to not get knocked out while the other person's trying to take multiple prizes a turn. So how do you feel about it, Spence?
I think it's going to be a fun one. I mean, you said it best, right? When you said like two really good players here. This is not Cardboard Warriors Async Playoffs of the past. This is not where one player of every type got into it. You had to come in, you had to earn a badge and qualify for the invitational playoffs at the end of the season. And these are the guys who are left after that bracket worked its way out. So super excited to see both of these guys play their decks that they chose to take into this tournament. I know you and I are both close with both Ravi and Espio, and we speak to them frequently and talk game and shop and all that. And so yeah, I know they're both really excited, and it's a really intricate matchup where both decks kind of not really counter, but try to mitigate what the other deck is really, really good at doing.
Sure. Yeah, I think that this matchup's going to come down to a couple of key factors here. I think the biggest factor is how fast can Ravi start, taking knockouts. Both decks do take a second to set up, but Espio we've kind of seen like traditionally start swinging turn 3, and then once he starts doing what he wants to do, like we mentioned earlier, he's going to be wanting to take multi-prizes a turn. And so he's going to be doing that by using, the spread of Sableye, and then also the Natu with Ancient Trait. So we're going to be looking at the Ancient Trait Natu. It has the trait that lets it take an extra prize card whenever it takes a knockout. And so Espio's deck is going to be looking to use some key tool cards in this matchup, such as Crisis Punch and Blindside. So both of those are tools that he can attach to Natu, and Natu gets these attacks, which they're crazy powerful attacks.
They
right?
are, yeah. I think, I played the deck for a little while. You've spent some time piloting the deck when we've tested. The deck can pop off, and it can do some things that just like are not really able to happen in Gym Leader Challenge. So
yeah.
So
No,
these
absolutely.
guys now, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, Gullies. These guys now, I've got them off to the races, and as we are noting here, we've got Espio going first, and he did give a mulligan to Ravi, so Ravi going to start with a little bit of an extra card advantage there.
Yeah, and going second. That's great.
Very nice. And honestly, that's right where Ravi wants to be. Ravi is playing Milo Pump, which is actually a deck that I recently built. And our boy Logan has had a lot of success as well with the deck. He recently took first in the 1K this past weekend in Atlanta, Georgia, which was super sick. and we have the deck in the finals, and I also made top 4 with the deck as well. It is an incredibly strong, straightforward, fast, consistent version of water. And so I'm really excited to see if Ravi can showcase quite how fast the deck can be.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I do, expect Espio to kind of play around some of the strategies that this list likes to abuse in terms of reversal energy plays. Espio can kind of just relax and not activate those cards, so to speak, just taking it a little bit slower. Now, if Ravi identifies that, then obviously we go with the Frostmoth line to try to power it up manually as quickly as possible. But I think the name of the game here is for Ravi definitely just to get a big whale out as quickly as possible and get it swinging ASAP.
Yeah. And I think we did just get a peek at Espio's hand, and I think it's definitely looks to be a little bit of a slower hand from if I just saw what I think I saw. So what I think this matchup really boils down to is if the Milo Pump can get to 3 prize cards before Espio starts taking prize cards, because once Espio starts, it's going to be like 2-2-2, or definitely ways to cheat several turns, whether that's Monkey Dory, whether that's the blind side, whether that's Sableye. There are so many different elements that Ravi's going to have to play around.
Yeah, and that's not even talking about if Ravi gets all the way to the end of the game, right to that last prize card, and here comes Crisis Punch.
Right.
If you're within 2 prizes there's
80
game.
damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough to knock out a whale, Spence.
It's enough to knock out a whale with a couple of his friends, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And so we kind of found that the deck, if it's able to spam Hex early on, and it can really, really hurt the Renegade board state and kind of keep Renegade from being able to just create these situations where they can constantly power up the Natu over and over. All right, so it looks like we saw a Guzma.
Brought that Technico up.
Yeah, which honestly, that I don't know if I like that play at all, because that gave Ravi that gave Espio an out to be able to pull exactly what he's doing, and I don't know if he had a retreat tool at all. Did y'all happen to see?
No, yeah, he didn't have nothing. Like you said, when you seen his hand, I kind of seen a little glimpse of it too, and didn't look like he had a lot going on there.
Yeah, and it does look like Espio is trying to get things going in the Lost Zone right now. That's definitely an incredibly strong option where he can just sit there and pick off all the smaller bench guys that Water traditionally likes to have.
Yeah, and I do see a couple of our guys in the chat already tonight. We've got both Lee and Justice hanging out with us. So shout out to our Turbo Blaze guys in the house supporting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. There's some intricate things that Espio can do with like the Sableye later on in the game. Like hitting 3 on the Milotic so that you can never Devo spray it, or putting 9 on the Inteleon so that you can never Devo spray it, which is something that this deck likes to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have really, really liked Ravi to save the Guzma there, so like he could, if there comes a turn where he has a chance to hit like a key Pokemon before it attacks, like then he could have had that.
Big time.
But it does look like he's going to be attacking turn 3, and it looks like he's going to be. Let's see where we have. It looks like 4 are in the Lost Zone so far.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Espio to give us a Lost Zone count now that he has resolved that. Give me 1 second. Hey Espio, if you could do us a favor and give us a Lost Zone counter die, please. Thank you, buddy.
Yes. Awesome.
All right, good deal. So 4 in the lost zone now for Espio. All good. Now everyone can see that clearly.
Sure. And then this is right where it just starts. It just starts gassing it up.
Yep.
It's like you are able to comfy every turn and just start seeing your deck, thinning your deck of
He's got it all. He's
not
got the Bonnet there to blow it up for 2 more. The chorus next turn is already in the discard pile. There's 2 more. Comfy, there's 1 more.
Yeah, Mirage Gate's online next turn.
Hold on.
If not, Sableye.
Hold on, baby.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yep.
I mean, like you said, it's just within this turn or the next turn, I can foresee 10 in the zone. Probably not this turn, but the next turn, I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I agree. And this is kind of what we have seen throughout the course of the tournament from Espio. It's consistently turn 3, turn 4 at the latest, filling up this lost zone. I know that we've seen this deck played even on Tricky Gym at some of their locals. I know that Hunter's a big believer in the lost zone engine, and it doesn't put on quite the show that Espio has given us over the past couple of weeks. This thing has been firing on all cylinders, all gas, no brakes.
Yep. And something important to note, too, is that Ravi actually had to end up going through a previous Async champion, Stack, who was on his Lost Zone Psychic deck, which, if you know anything about Cardboard Warriors, you know that Stack is a terror with that deck. He is the turbo of turbos when it comes to that, how he likes to play the deck. Incredible player too, and Ravi was able to take that. But this, I'm not gonna lie, guys.
This is a different beast.
This is a different beast here. The Natu really, really, especially being able to swing 280 is extremely scary here.
Yeah, like we talked about it, right? Like you can.
Oh, y'all, we saw the hex. I'm sorry, that's very important. That's massive.
Important. Yeah, this version of Lost Zone, Renegade can, with the Monkey Tina, once it does get set up, I mean, you're able to turn your Sableye into, 15 counters a turn, in theory, as well as, you attack a Giratina, gets knocked out, bring it back, there's 2. You got the 3 from the Monkey, move those, move the Sableye, and I mean, Espio literally board wiped me in our game. The 3rd game. Or no, 2nd game. I don't remember. But either way.
We do see Ravi initiate the prize trade here, going to 5 on the back of the wishy-washy. And now it's over to Espio with all the urgency to, let's see how many we can get to now. Definitely filling it up. Looks like instead going to elect to freely.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Freely because of that Dimension Valley. Pick up Inkay and Raihan.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I think Robbie's in a very good – that's great.
Robbie's
in a really good spot right now. This is exactly where, he wants to be. He wants to be able to put this pressure on while Espio is struggling to hit that loss zone number.
Yep.
If he's playing just into the, Giratina strategy, I mean, it's a – let's just be honest. It's kind of like a mixture of 2 decks. So, if he doesn't have the Malamar set up, he does not have the Roth set up or, the Gardevoir to help him, keep those attackers going. And so Ravi's able to put the gas on. He needs the second attacker, though, because all it's going to take is Giratina energy to come up and hit that wishy-washy. And if he flips tails, then he is in a bad spot.
We see the Evo Insights.
But that's huge, too. That's massive.
Yep.
So that means we have a guaranteed attacker for next turn.
Yeah, this is big.
Yeah, and so Espio, my guess there, guys, right, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in that last turn, could have popped Bonnet, went to 7, could have got Colress back, went to 9, but not hitting that threshold, must have been 1 short. We've already seen the Lost Blender be played. There were no tools on either side of the board, and you definitely don't want to be lost vacuuming your Dimension Valley. So, A little bit of a
Yeah,
weird position there.
X really slowed him down there for sure.
Yep.
It did.
That was matchup key number 1. So.
And did y'all happen? What did Ravi get off of the drizzle?
I don't believe that he's resolved it quite yet.
Okay.
He's looking at scoop up net, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm curious what's in his hands.
Sure.
Now, Logan, as a Milo Pump player, what are you looking for within the next few turns if you're Ravi?
Yeah, you definitely want to, because you've already established this drizzle. I would think the better play here would just be to, pocket away to get your Inteleon up and running next turn as well. Because if this wishy-washy flips tails on any kind of attack, then we're not really in a good position.
He opted for the Lux Cape instead of the scoop up net.
And he could have a supporter in hand that guarantees. Yeah, so it looks like we're really protecting this drizzle. So he probably has either an out to Inteleon or just Inteleon in hand, some way to get that. Looking to try to protect it as much as possible in case, Espio does pop this next turn. He's very aware of how close he is here.
Yeah, but another thing to note there too, by dropping that Lux Cape, you give him a target for the lost vacuum.
Yeah, exactly.
That is in Dimension Valley.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true.
That's true.
And we know that would be a premier use of the lost vacuum as well, because Milotic would love to recycle that Lux Cape at some point in the game if need be, to beef a whale even further, and lost vacuum gets rid of it permanently. It's gone to the lost zone.
Yeah, in a matchup where they're already taking 2 prizes, with most of their knockouts, I'm caping some stuff. I mean, in the Milotic, being able to cape some stuff 2x. 3x, 4x with cards like Scoop Up and Devo Spray. Maybe it's not the right play, but it definitely, you got to answer it.
So we must have had access to a couple of search outs in hand, as we see both the Renegade and the Snom hit the board from at least a level ball, and there had to have been one more played, probably a nest ball if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so we see the promotion there. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like it's gonna be pretty easy for Espio to get there.
Yep.
Let's see what we find off of this.
We know that Raihan's at the bottom of the deck, right?
Yep. So now this is going to reset that order. Yep.
Yeah, he's got to put it. And the Pokestop, that's big.
I'd be very surprised if he did go in with Sableye this turn too. Well,
I mean,
you could remove.
You can chase down.
No, you could remove quite a bit with a Sableye just this turn. You could chase down both the Phoebus and the Snom, and then set up math on the Wishy-Washy, making it have to flip. You put at least one there. I could see this being a turn where he definitely goes in. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, we see
Plopel in the chat definitely mentioning kind of what we're discussing here. A Lost Mine this turn could be devastating with a Wishy-Washy shuffle.
Yep.
Yeah, like, what do you do?
Good to have you out here as well,
The only
Alex.
downside of this is that he sets up. Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I was thinking. Because if he goes and Lost Mines this turn, then what ends up happening is that he lets his Tina get pinged with an Inteleon snipe, setting it up for an easy knockout. And so by promoting this right here, he's saying that, hey, you have no way to deal with my my Tina if you flip tails, which is true.
Interesting. It's just risky.
Yeah, for sure.
Must not have any guaranteed recovery. That's one of the things with this Sableye, that it's very fragile. So even if you do take out the board state from Ravi's side, but Ravi has Inteleon that can attack, the Sableye just goes down, right? And then exactly what Ghoul said, you position the math correctly for a Giratina that can't knock out this caped Inteleon if that's the play that we're looking at next turn. And I imagine that's probably the case.
Yeah. Big thing to note too that like the Mimikyu hasn't hit the board yet. The Whalmer hasn't hit the board yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's big because once you get 10 in the loss zone and Giratina's in the discard pile, that's just like Tina ping and a Sableye.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And if I was Espio, I ain't got no problem taking one at a time and just killing your Wailord every time you bring it back.
This is a very, very, very big flip.
Tails.
Oh, yep. Yeah, he can easily get Inteleon and just do a gust on the Sableye and still get that math right. And then he'll be really far ahead too.
Yeah.
I actually don't even
100%.
mind like him knocking out the
Ralts.
Ralts
Right.
here
Right. Even an escape
off of
rope.
Yep. Yeah.
And we
okay,
saw
so
how key Rope
if he
was
promotes
this
this,
weekend
then
for
he
me. Rope's a super strong card that we pulled from Ravi's kind of inspiration, the way that he's been playing the list. And I think it shined this weekend.
Heck yeah, dude. Shout out Logan Davis, the band man.
Yeah.
Again, right here,
Carpenter.
I am.
So I think that you're right on the intent, but the Drizzile has a cape on it currently. So the Drizzile has 180 HP remaining on it still. So that lost mine to that wouldn't have been as effective, and probably what Espio recognized there, not having access to the vacuum or the blower.
Yeah, like even if he flips the heads, like you just get him next turn.
Right.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Is that Evo Soda coming in clutch and water? That's crazy.
Hey, it was another big player this weekend. You can ask me the question now. How many times did I want Timer Ball this weekend? I don't think there was one. I had Inteleon one time this weekend for both Evo Soda and Evolution Incense. So I guess theoretically my Timer Ball could have flipped two heads, but I'll take the
Theoretically,
guarantee.
it never does.
I'll take the guarantee.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'll stand on that hill. I'll die on it.
Stand on that Chris Hill.
Evo Soda over Timer Ball. But yeah, so Ravi, let's see if he can convert here.
There's the Whalmer.
Whale could have been prize.
Could have been.
It is. I'm pretty sure it is prize.
Yeah, far left, right?
Nope. No, okay. Never mind. Yeah, I thought it was all the way on the right side of the sand there.
So did I. I'm almost positive it
Sure
was.
looked like it.
But you know what? Ravi's no goofball. He probably sees the Tina Ping situation as well as we do.
So this is interesting. So it looks to me that Ravi did not have the out
Did not have
to Inteleon. Yeah, that's the read.
Well, we might have just put our foot in our mouth with Timer Ball, but I'm not changing. No, he has Ultra Ball in hand.
Okay, cool.
I mean, he probably drew into Ultra Ball.
Yeah, we've got the hand cut off just a little bit because the way that the table has to position, can't really fit it all, but that's a good shout, Ghouls. Glad you could see that.
Yep.
Whoa. And someone's camera? There we go. Ravi's camera cut. There we go.
Yeah, it looks like Espio's frozen.
Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, Espio looks like he's frozen completely in the Discord call. Webcam technical difficulties. It's okay.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate part of it.
Let's check in.
Yeah, so while Logan's looking for that again.
Yeah.
There we go. We got it back.
All right, cool. Yeah, if Ravi has access to Inteleon here, I mean, we're talking about a Guzma and 20 ping on the Tina, and we are looking real good.
Just pass? No. Just hand motions.
There's no way.
Here we go. We're good.
Yeah. I was like, there's no way. I know I saw Ultra Ball.
I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Important things to note, too, is that Malo and Lana is still live. So if he does come up and hit into the Inteleon, that's always an option.
I'm thinking that Ravi must have... I don't know what else is in the hand, but the fact that you're not just slamming the Ultra Ball and going here, and obviously, like, again, we had mentioned that these players are playing untimed. I mentioned that in the chat. But, you know, they're really kind of probably taking their time to think through the plays. But definitely think that we're going to see...
Whoa,
is this a
okay.
dot ball?
Yeah, that changes
okay.
things.
Yeah, that changes everything.
You know, that way, like, you can save Ultra Ball for...
Mm-hmm.
Well, he can even hit Hex here, too. Like, that's another play. I don't think that's the right play here, but... you know, he does have the... Depending on what else is in his hand, he has a lot of options right here. And he's eyeing up Burst Seeker.
Yeah, so here we go. Is the game plan... What's the game plan? We're going to see right now exactly where Ravi wants to take this matchup.
Yeah. There's a lot that can happen in these next few turns, you know.
Yeah.
Let's also note that Espio didn't take a prize last turn because of the tails flip with the wishy-washy.
Mm-hmm.
So if Ravi is able to take a knockout here, he's got the 3 prizes before Espio takes 1, and that's how Milo Pump wins this matchup.
You know what? He is looking at... It does look like he's going to try to Hex right here. And if he Hexes here, what, you know, he gets hit with the... You know, I could be saying all this, but he could be having Escape Rope in hand as well. Which, if he has Escape Rope in hand, that would be ideal. I don't know, Logan. What do you think about this decision? I know he's still figuring it out.
I think he's got the rope in hand. I see the Ultra Ball. I see the energy. Ay. Ultra Ball away of this. That's Nest Ball? Yeah. In the water. Getting the moth.
Yeah. So he's valuing being able to recur the wishy-washy if something crazy happens next turn, I think. But you know what is also live here is Counter Catcher. Oh my goodness. That was a big drop on us. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Guzma was prized. All right. He Guzma turn 1. Yeah, my bad.
So either way, we still see that the game plan was the same. You know, it was originally what we kind of called out. It's, you know, let's take this Sableye off the board, ping the Tina, put it into kind of clean math for this Inteleon next turn. Say, okay, Espio, here you go. Bring up that Tina and hit me.
I'm sorry. The thing is, like, Espio does not run rare candy. So, like, it's going to be a second before he can get something, you know, with the lack of, you know, with the lack of Malamar in play. Yeah. So he's looking at Raihan and Mirage Gate as his acceleration options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we do know that Mirage Gate is online now with the 9 cards in the Lost Zone. So we could even hit it right here off of this Pokegear. Probably looking for a way to...
There is a dark in the Lost Zone already, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing with this deck. There's a lot of really small micro decisions.
Yeah, it's true.
It only plays 2 dark energies.
Yeah, it could be prized. That could be really, really bad Bears.
Yeah, and that was on his. I think it was on his first comfy. Or no, that was on his first turn when he lost Blender before deck search.
You know, it could be pretty dangerous too. Is like if you do have the Mirage Gate, like who are you trying to target right now? Are you trying to power up your Gardevoir? Well, if he's powering up the Gardevoir, then we have Phoebus who could turn into Melodic, and we could get that snipe. So he's definitely. I would be surprised if he plays Mirage Gate this turn.
Yeah.
Let's see, so we got Crisis Punch in hand. So it is in deck. We should expect to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna come up.
Yeah, notably, he had to bump the stadium for Pokegear to see some more cards, so has to commit an extra energy to that Giratina there, bumping the Dimension Valley.
That was big too.
Yeah.
Also big that I don't foresee Ravi using his stadium. She was what you guys played Brooklet and what else?
Rough Seas.
Rough Seas. So yeah, the Rough Seas definitely is gonna come up. But it's just another time where Espio was forced to bump his own stadium to make things happen, and Ravi didn't have to play his. Wins the stadium war, you know?
Yeah, no Lucamine in this Renegade list, so that Dimension Valley is not coming back.
Yep. It could probably be even more devastating if he could get the Gust on the Curlio this turn. Even if the Inteleon goes down, ideal world, he wants to be seeing Rough Seas here and probably Gust as well.
Yeah.
Also, something notable is that we are in a scary spot because after the attack with the Giratina, there's going to be damage sticking around, and that monkey is going to be probably salivating over that Phoebus.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the 150 damage counters on the Sableye turns are just ridiculous.
Yep.
Well,
Now,
technically
if
170, but yeah.
If he can get Rough Seas here, he's going to be able to save himself on map where he can't. Oh, he rips the Pokestop.
And Mills, but the Mills aren't that bad, to be fair. Ball
Yeah.
Guy in and a Water Energy, we can live with those.
We can live with that. Lower. Okay. Thinning for Octillery here.
100%. Yep. Even attaching to this Phoebus.
Look. Are we going to see attack with Melodic this game?
Possible.
It's possible.
No, can you go ahead and read Milotic's attack for us that don't know it?
60
it does
damage.
60 damage. Oh, go ahead.
All right, Melodic for 1 water and 2 colorless energy does 60 damage. And then you may have your opponent switch his or her active Pokemon with one of his or her bench Pokemon.
Okay.
But the 60 damage is enough to, if damage sticks around on this bench of Espio, knock out something over there on that side. Looks like he elects to put it on the Octillery, though. More so for possible retreat angle later. Doesn't want to get it stuck to a counter catcher.
Makes sense.
Ravi down to 3 prize cards to Espio 6 currently still.
So we got a Superior in hand, it looks like. Or at least that's what I'm thinking when my opponent puts all the energies. That or Nessa. Oh, all right. See the whale coming down, giving them some extra targets.
Nessa.
Yep, there we go. And this is pretty unfortunate here.
What's better than recurring wishy-washy when setting up a whale? But a little scary here because you're going to knock out this Giratina, right? And then if Espio can develop a. I mean, but the thing is, if that happens, then he's leaving alone the Inteleon, right? If Espio decides to put all his eggs in the basket of KOing the whale, then this Inteleon's still sticking around for another turn. You're going down to one prize after this, so
Yeah, I'll tell you
not
something
much
real
left to have to
funny.
build for Ravi.
You know what I'd love to see from Espio here, though? I'd love to see a lost vacuum on the Cape. You ready? Natu, regular attack onto the Inteleon for 2 prizes.
I don't think it's a knockout, unless if he moves damage to it on a monkey.
Because he all he needs to do is 20, right? He's got 140 on it if he removed the Cape.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
Yes, and that's just like a few cards, I think.
Yeah, that would be disgusting, Spence. That would definitely be the play.
I feel like it. I don't know. It is a few resources, but it's not a lot of energies. What is that, Malmar on the bench?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a Malmar. Okay, so he's got access to that.
All right, so we got a Tina.
Yeah, we've got a Tina, a Gardevoir, and a Malamar currently on Espio's side of the field. So the board's developing, but is it too little, too late?
I'll tell you what, Renegade does best, and it comes back from games. It might be a little too late for sure. I mean, 6-2, yeah. But if any deck in the world could do it, I think it's Renegade. Call me crazy.
Yeah, and important to
go,
know,
boys.
guys, like the attachment
Mirage
on the
Gate.
auxiliary. Yep.
Yep.
The attachment on the auxiliary does allow him to potentially get a knockout on a Natu with the auxiliary. That's another key factor.
Yeah, his auxiliary does 40, and then on a coin flip paralyzes. So all these little damage numbers making a big difference, and you see that these players thinking things through to the umpteenth degree, making sure that they know exactly the plays that could come down the line, trying to prepare for everything. That's how we saw Ravi, get through the matchup with you, Ghouls. He anticipated and prepared for everything. He played it in a way where, he made sure that on board he had ready to attack turn after turn after turn. And so this is kind of the headspace that I think we see him in. We know that Phoebus is still on the bench. So, I mean, right here, if he does bench the Natu, you could even see it as early as this turn, the knockout with the artillery. Because we're in a prize race here at this point for Ravi. 2 more. We're looking for map.
Who are you giving up here?
Chris is gonna die anyway, or get knocked out anyways.
Yeah.
So you give the Phoebus, you give another choice after that.
Yeah, because you know that the damage can just be moved off now that this dark energy is attached to the monkey. So this Phoebus being promoted means that, like you said, Spence, you're probably going to have to promote something else in the middle of this turn if Espio decides to take that route.
Yeah, though at the same time, I could also see Espio
here we go.
putting damage all over the board.
All right, here we go. Here comes the Sableye back into play. I do not foresee this Phoebus sticking around, knowing that Espio knows exactly what the melodic does. I would definitely not be leaving it on the board this turn if I could.
Yeah, I think right here you monkey, knock out the Phoebus, and then you knock out the whale.
Yeah, well, you don't have to monkey to knock out the Phoebus. You can put the 3 damage counters somewhere else and just use 2 from Sableye.
Exactly. If you do it, you're wasting 1. Yep.
Yeah. So you put the 3 somewhere else, probably the Whalmer. Or you drop it on the Inteleon, right? Because there's 14, that'd be 170. 170. Yep. Oh my gosh, there's 3 prizes.
Yep.
Right? Well, no. Yeah. Luxcape just says knocked out, right? Does Luxcape say knocked out by damage?
No,
Lux
it
not
has to be by
damage. Correct. Thank you.
Yeah, has to be.
Yep.
He did it with the monkey pings?
Yeah, he did. So we did see it mid-turn. Definitely a
So we're
wasted
about to see
counter
going
there.
forward.
But now you pick what you decide to do here. Because now,
Yeah.
can you get to the Inteleon? What's the Inteleon? 120, 140.
If you put the 30 there, you could have.
No,
Yeah.
I think he's gonna knock out the whale this turn. Yep. And then
Yep.
he's
Yeah.
gonna try to
Yep.
take the 2 prize cards off of the Inteleon, and then he's gonna do a probably like a crisis punch on a gust or something. He put Guzman back. Blindside is also active at any moment.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's what Ploble mentioned in the chat, that not to blindside would be 3 prizes on this Inteleon. And it's live at any time at this point.
Yep.
I don't know. I think it's just too far gone.
It depends on what he does this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Like, yeah, I mean, there's a world where he can disrupt and then knock out the artillery, and then hit what he needs to knock out the Inteleon, and then
I mean, you need a lot here if you're Ravi to establish something else. Your superiors, well, superior's not down. The Nessa is what we saw played down. So now you can start to recharge. And if Espio does go to, 1 prize card on the next turn, if he does take a 3 prize turn, reversal energy would be live.
well, no, they would be tied.
Yeah, they'd be tied
Mm-hmm.
at 1.
Oh, yeah, because Inteleon taking this knockout this turn for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So he did draw forward with artillery already.
Yeah, he drew 2 with the octopus.
Oh no. If he takes a knockout here, I think he's in a very bad spot.
He did.
Like
2 energy on a whale. 1 on the artillery. Let me tell you what, I'd love to see him just come up and hug for game.
Yeah, and that was a very realistic possibility when the Phoebus was still around. But now, versus Seeker and Guzman both in the bin, you're going to need to reestablish that if you want to have a chance at another gust here. And at least at a desired target, escape rope. Oh, here we go. So here comes back with the rod. We're going to put the Sableye, the Natu, and a couple of Psychics back into the deck. Looks like he's eyeballing whether or not to put back the second one or not.
He's got to hit the Natu off of the... I mean, he's got a couple things at his disposal.
no energy, very interesting.
Yeah, blindside or even just a...
Yeah, so he's saying right there, like, that's it. He doesn't have Pokemon search, if I'm assuming correctly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying he has to hit it off of the ability.
The Guardy, yeah. Oh, and the comfy. All right, Ron comes down, so he must have hit it.
We see the draw forward there with
Crisis.
Shining Arcana.
Yep, Crisis punches what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got the knockout there.
Yeah, so must not have found all the pieces for the Crisis Punch play, or just electing
Or he
to
did.
take a knock. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And value's just removing additional Pokemon here.
That's what would win. That's
And now
what
you're
would
in a
make.
tough spot because now you're sitting at 4 cards. Yeah, I figured that this probably had to be the promotion, but
We haven't seen a supporter come down yet, correct?
right.
About to get weird. About to get itchy, boys.
It looks like he's got VS Seeker in hand. So anything's possible. He has the pivot. Yep, okay.
We see Tulip there, the supporter for turn, getting back 2 psychic energies to hand for Espio. Attachment for turn looks like going to come down to Gardevoir. Looks like he's debating it.
I'm gonna say it right now. I think Ravi's holding on to teammates.
It's quite possible. All right, here comes attachment and
The whale.
Yep. Yep. And this is going to be a knockout with this Gardevoir.
What do you put on him?
Brainwave 60 plus 30. Or Cross's Punch. Yeah, Cross's Punch just does it.
Yeah, so Espio set up for the line side.
That's interesting. I'm not sure why.
Whale was in hand.
I'm not sure why you wouldn't just attack there with
Anato?
with Brainwave. I'm not sure why you burn the resource of the Cross's Punch there. Brainwave 60 plus 30 more for each psychic attach.
One of them must be a dark.
Must be. Can't really tell. A little bit of glare. But yeah, it must be, Spence. That's got to be what it is.
They're all psychic.
They are all psychic, yeah, so that would have been enough.
They are all
been
psychic.
doing 150 damage with the Brainwave.
Also, Rough Seas is still alive too. So he could heal off the damage here.
See, like if you save that Cross's Punch for next turn, if Ravi does try to flee to a Wishy-Washy, you can take that knockout there. I don't know. Yeah, definitely down to the end here in terms of cards left in deck. Espio fans is out there. Looks like it couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 cards.
You built huge hands with Renegade.
Yeah, I think if you're Ravi, this is the time to bench the Manaphy.
Avery.
Well, no, he has counter catcher in hand too, doesn't he?
Ravi just played Avery.
No, Espio played counter catcher the previous turn.
Okay.
Brooklet. So he's definitely gonna get the Wishy. Superior.
See, and here we go, guys. This is why I would have held on to that resource. This is why I would have held that resource. This almost cost me a game on Saturday, this exact thing. And there's the rope.
Yep, there it is. Boom.
And
That's
game.
why we could start playing rope.
Yep, for
Good
sure.
Lord.
For sure. Yeah, that's why rope made its way into the deck as early as this Saturday. Definitely paid off big. I can't tell you how many times rope. In my finals match, I used rope to gust the only target on the bench multiple times. Just shredding through my opponent's board. But that was an awesome game one from these players. So Ravi takes down the first game. And Espio looks like he's going to reset his camera for us.
Yeah. And look, that could have went either way there at the end.
Real fast, big dog.
I mean, that just shows the strength of Renegade. You know, if you look at the deck like from the outside, I'm just gonna give an honest critique about it. I remember seeing it and I was just like, okay, well, this just kind of seems like it's trying to do a lot. But like, you know, without like playing it, seeing it, and then we all like, you know, we started playing it, Spence did, and we,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you could see some potential there.
Yeah.
But then like just seeing like what Espio is doing, like throughout this whole tournament, it's like, dude, like a blink
Yeah.
of an eye, that game could have went to him. Like, could have made a
Mhm.
6 prize comeback.
Seriously.
And
Yeah.
you know, I think it's safe to say too, Ravi played that game like really well. Like he didn't
Yeah, I agree.
he didn't give himself too many or put himself in too many bad spots. Even benching the Phoebus, I think had like some moments where like it could have paid big time if he would have been able to hit the melodic.
Yeah.
Like for like hex spams early, I think. Um, but like that was what an incredible game for sure.
It was.
All right, so if you're Espio, I'm sure you're wanting to like, you know, have a little bit of a faster start than what he had game one.
Mhm.
I think it's safe to say too that that was probably the slowest game we've ever seen of Renegade.
Yeah, of
right?
Renegade, right.
Like, yeah, but he, you know, he's such an amazing pilot. We can't ever really count him out for sure. And
Agreed.
I mean, filthy plays there at the end.
Genuinely was.
Something important to note too is like we never saw Whale Lord. That was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So like opting for like that Intellion and opting for you know, wishy-washy early, again, just bringing the speed, bringing the low commitment where like you don't have to bench all of these like little bitty guys at the start, you know. It gets a little crunchy if you need them, so it is probably better to go ahead and evolve into them. But Ravi's playing very conservative, you know, for sure, trying not to give too many targets.
Yeah.
While they're setting up, we can take a second to go through their bracket run and the matchups that they had to take to get here. So real quick, Ravi had to go through Reverse Hollow Pat playing Turbo Dark, so he had to avoid the donks. He played against Stack in the Lost Zone mirror match, not mirror match, sorry, the Lost Zone match, and then he beat me in the mirror match.
Yes.
And then Espio had to go through Jordan on like Earthquake Fighting. And then he beat both Turbo Blaze guys, Lee and Spence on Perskis. And so both of them did not have easy brackets to get here. Had to go through some extremely tough opponents. And I mean, we're seeing it in their gameplay. I'd expect nothing less from a finals of these players' caliber.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think this is really cool to do the async playoffs like this season, where you kind of just got the best, you know, or the most producing players from the season, you know, that play in a tournament at the end, and I hope that it continues to run like that going forward.
Yeah. Now we did
that was
see,
a pretty rough Pokestop we saw there, guys, while you guys were having that little chat. Pokestop milled Guzma, Rainbow Energy, and another Floatstone. So no hits, and instead just, you know, sending 3 pretty important cards into the discard pile pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be tough.
And it looks like on Ravi's side, he's actually, with the Pokemon down, he can pull off a turn 2 Wishy-Washy. He's got the energy already to retreat.
This is true.
And
yes,
so
sir.
we could see Ravi coming in hot. And so I'm excited to see what else Espio can do to stabilize this board. So we see a Tina.
Tina.
Oh, and a pass. Okay.
It's go time. Frostmoth in hand. It's go time, boys. Can we see an evolution this turn? It looks like. Oh yeah, ball got.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
here we go.
That's
Here we
it.
go, goalies.
He straight up has it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He's got Hex for the next turn. That's absolutely feral. Somebody needs to call Sherry.
Yeah, this is big. The pop off is happening right now. And this is kind of what I was laying out in terms of, reversal whale is one way to do it. This is speed, pure speed. Had we saw a Whalmer benched on turn 1, this is a turn 2 whale, plain and simple.
All right, it didn't look like. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, and I think Lee's saying that he already had some waters in hand.
Yeah, I saw at least one for sure.
So here we go. Here comes the pressure. Now it's going to be on to Espio to say, hey, deal with it or this game's over.
Yep. And what's cool too is like he's literally got the Intellion as an attacker for
The backup.
next turn too.
Yep.
So this is not where you want to be as Espio. You hate to see like such a bad start and such a bad Pokestop. He wanted to see stuff off of that.
Yeah, and it's super
we saw
rough
him.
to see. If it is to end like this, let me tell you what, it's a hard way to go down.
Yeah, you hate to lose that way.
Okay.
Oh man. All right, so
We
let's
got
see
the
what else.
versus secret.
Oh my god.
And there we go, boys. There's the extension. No way to put any damage on this wishy-washy to even force a tail flip. And that's just going to be all she wrote.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, congratulations to Ravi.
Congratulations, yeah. And congratulations to Espio too. I mean, like I said, he took this deck and really has put it out there for the public to see. Everybody and their brother thought the same thing that we did when we first put our hands on it and really didn't understand the way of playing it. Espio put that out there for everyone to see. Yeah. So shout out to Twilight, Wither Gaming. Yeah. Shout out to Espio. Great job putting that deck out there for people to see. Because it's one that, I mean, we talked about it earlier. You can go ahead and tell them if you want to, Ghouls, but I think a couple of us have ordered the pieces, right? Ordered the pieces to build this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like first off, I have to give Twilight the flowers. I mean, what an incredible deck builder! What an incredible player! I mean, Twilight, most well known for Ralts Control and Renegade. And I tell you what,
stick around if you will.
This is definitely a testimony to just like a great deck builder. And you know what? We got to give Espio his flowers as well, because Espio put on a clinic this whole tournament and showing at number one how great of a player he is, how he just sees the lines, and then just made everybody just like respect this deck. Like an incredible job by him. Yeah. And you really hate to see going out like that. That's super unfortunate. But that is the way the game happens sometimes. And especially with a deck that has as many consistency pieces as Renegade.
Yeah, this deck just, all tournament long, we've seen Espio hit the nuts, like just bamming through cards. I think it was like second or third turn there. I looked at his hand, he had like 11 cards. I'm like, holy moly, like, but like he's really just doing those many actions of do two more or one more, it all works.
And real quick, guys, while we still got the players around, let's I think what I want to do is kind of give them both a little chance to, give their thanks, get a little bit of FaceTime. So let me go check and see. I'll try to get like Espio first, and then we'll get the champ afterwards. Cool. So let's see if we can do that. Just hang out for me for just a second, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And Spence, I gotta say it. I gotta brag.
Hey guys.
Gotta brag.
Hang on 1 sec.
Milo Pump is nuts.
You can get their audio from there, right, Logan? Good Ravi, my boy. The Victini.
Right.
We're happy for Ravi. I mean, let's talk about something real quick. This guy came in the server, roughed us up with psychic,
Oh yeah.
roughed us up with this psychic deck all season long. Tied for second in the for most badges at the end of the season.
Hey,
And
Spence
then
and Ghouls, let's try something here. Hop into the Discord, the table, and mute yourselves in the Google Doc, and let's just talk on the Discord, okay? So we can all hear each other. Leave the Google Meet up so that I still have your camera, but just mute in here. Should be able to hopefully hear you
Do you want
guys.
me to use my other phone? Does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Espio and Ravi.
Yo.
Yeah, cool. Sounds like we got everybody. So first and foremost, let me get Espio's face fixed here because Ghoulies is taking up some of the screen in here. There
Oh,
we
sorry.
go.
I'll get out of here.
No, you're good. No, it's it's hilarious. Okay, good.
You're
No,
having
everything
fun. You're having
everything
fun.
looks great, guys. So, congratulations on both of you two to making it to this point. Like I kind of had mentioned, you both had incredible runs to get here. I'm incredibly proud of you both for the positions that you put yourselves in and the games that you played. I've commentated over every single one of your games pretty much throughout the course of the tournament, and I just want to give you both your flowers for being such incredible players. So I think we'll start with Espio, our runner-up here for the event. Espio, I know that coming up a little bit short tonight, it's not exactly where you wanted to be, but that being said, you put on one of the best performances with Renegade that I've seen personally over the course of the deck's life. I had mentioned in the stream tonight that I've seen that deck played at full grip, in events at full grip, and on stream there, it just doesn't seem to perform nowhere near like what I saw you play it to the caliber of over the course of this tournament. So, I want to start with you and kind of let you give your thoughts on, the knot and how your tournament's been. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the introduction. So I mean, everybody typically knows me as a control player. But that doesn't mean that every single control deck I play has to be about deck out. I think Renegade at its core is a control deck that seeks to control by taking prizes, if you will. And that's sort of how I think about the deck. And I made a couple tweaks from the original list, such as I lost my camera. My camera's so inconsistent. I'm gonna keep trying to fiddle with it while I talk.
You're fine. Go ahead.
But I made some changes, such as throwing in the counter. Point being is I'm gonna go behind on prizes. That's just the
Yeah.
nature of the deck. But you want to use your tools like Sableye and Natu to try to come back on prizes. And a big part of my thought in this matchup, particularly, is that combo that I was gunning for on the final turn of N to 1 or 2 cards plus Countercatcher plus Lost Mine. And, even failing that combo, there's still a lot of tricky lines that you can take with Natu and Crisis Punch. With Gardevoir's attack, Shining Arcana, especially if you can use a Super Rod or Ordinary Rod late game, that Shining Arcana accelerates energy to itself. And I've had, games in my test games where I'm swinging with Gardevoir for 180 or even more damage, especially when aided with Monkey Dory. So the deck has a lot of lines. I think it's one of the most flexible win from, a 6-1 deficit decks in the format right now. I personally think it's the strongest way to be playing Psychic. But with all that said, it can lose to itself on occasion because there's just so much jam packed in the deck. And of course, it's very hard to pilot.
Yeah, you put
Awesome.
on a show with it. I mean, I was talking on the stream like about my time with trying to play the deck and just the uniqueness within the micro decisions of every turn. There's like five of them, and I knew that you were gonna put on a show with the deck. Being like you said, being a control player and making those small choices that add up throughout the entire game. But man,
Mhm.
I was not expecting to see you put on a clinic like you did with the deck. In every round that you played coming up all the way to the end. I was telling these guys, like, look, like Espio can come back here. And Ravi had like one or two prizes remaining. I'm like, look, like that Espio can come back. Like
Yeah,
that Capes down,
and I
Natu
mean,
could do something, and
and
just
I mean,
wild
in that
magic.
specific board state, for example, if Ravi had not hit the escape rope and taken that KO there, I actually had game on board because I have Guzma in hand. I can put 2 damage on the field with Giratina. I also had
Mhm.
Scoop Up to pick up my Giratina, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, in case he didn't Avery me. I have 2 damage from Tina. I have 3 damage from Monkey Dory and 12 from Lost Mine. Plus the 1 damage that was already on Frostmoth, I would have been able to take the double KO on Octillery Frostmoth. Uh,
Yeah,
so
it's
in
crazy.
case you're at home and don't see those lines, the match was that close.
Yeah,
You know.
and we definitely can't because then that's what I mentioned on stream. Seeing your guys' hands on stream is very tough because of the way that we have to trim the cameras. So that's why
Yeah.
this moment is so important for me to be able to have you both on, to be able to hear kind of what you're thinking in the moment while it's still fresh on the mind. And I definitely great analysis there from SBO, and again, one of our great friends in the community. We consider him literally a brother to us anyway. So I know that we're very proud of you for your run. And, Ghoulie, Spence, anything else that you guys want to mention to
I would
E?
just say again, congratulations on the run. It's absolutely a blast just watching you play the deck and being able to show it off. It's always a pleasure to see like you play the game. Like you have a
Mm-hmm.
great eye, and it's such a treat. So it was really really cool to see. I mean, sitting here on the edge of my seat, just being like, I mean, is this about to happen? Like, are we about to see like a 6-1 comeback? Like, this is wild.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good. Super unfortunate for game two. Like I feel that like I've been there plenty of times to you just can't play the game.
Yeah.
But I
That
mean,
definitely was
not to
itself
take away
sometime.
from your run at all. I mean, um, I think you got me like playing the deck, and I really really you've always said it. You've always told me that I would like playing the deck, and
Uh-huh.
yeah,
And he loves
yeah,
it.
the deck is awesome.
Yeah.
It's really really
Anybody
fun.
who likes playing technical decks with more than one path to victory, Renegade's 100% gonna be up your alley.
Yeah, we picked up some stamped Lost Blenders today for the team.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
those are on the way. So well, SPO, man, like we've been saying, been echoing, very proud of you as a deck builder, very proud of you as a player. Um, you know,
Absolutely.
the
And I
the
mean,
world is your ocean at this point now going forward. Time to lock in for the next set of events.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, big shout out to you guys for streaming all these events and, a lot of you personally bouncing ideas and playing games with me. Big shout out to my local testing scene, especially Count Sligo, Jaboingus,
Yes.
Devin, and many others for playing with me. And, of course, shout out to my opponent, Ravi, who I would consider is playing water type Renegade.
Yeah.
I think he absolutely picked the best deck for the tournament
Yeah.
and maybe the best deck in the format, you know.
Yeah, we had mentioned that it had some success this weekend. This has been a very Milo Pump heavy weekend. I can't wait. I'm gonna pop in here as soon as we finish up with you. I kind of want to be on for this to kind of talk
Talk about
about
the
it as
weekend.
well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, with
We got
Ravi as
time.
well in the house. So SBO,
Absolutely.
man, congratulations again. Very proud of you, and we'll
Yes,
definitely see
congrats,
you
brother.
soon.
Much love.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
All right, let me get myself in here now.
Ravi! Congrats.
Hey, let's go. We did it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
You did it.
If you want to turn your camera on, Logan, that's fine.
I'm
we'll
on.
get the
I'm
water
on.
boys all
I'm
on
in.
camera.
I'm in. I'm good.
Okay, cool.
I'm on.
I'm gonna shut mine off and let you put like you guys three.
Oh, you're
up,
fine.
Okay?
No, you're fine. I
okay.
took
Cool.
Espio down for a second because we,
Okay.
we'll hit Ravi's interview here and then probably call it a night after that. I don't think there's much more to say past that, but definitely want to, first and foremost to, another one of our really good friends, another one of our really big testing partners from down in South America. We're gonna give him all the flowers now, Mr. Ravios, the king of the Milo Pump for the day and for this tournament. How you feel, bud?
Yep.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to Ghouls. This is his son. I'm his grandfather. No,
Yeah.
I'm
That's how I felt this weekend.
And shout out to you guys for streaming all these matches in the tournament for streaming the final. Shout out to the Turbo Blaze team. To my boy Spence, to Ghouls, to you Logan, to Lee. Also, it was a hell of a game one, and game two was absolutely amazing. I start first mode Sobble and Ball Guy, and I'm sitting like, okay, I got attack turn too.
Yep.
Don't freak out. Don't freak out.
I seen you tossing them energies, and you were going. I was like, woo!
Yeah, we saw it.
Seen the ball guy come down, and Logan's like, "It's on and popping. That's it. That's the card.
It's coming. Yeah. Yep. Right now.
Yeah, and also the game one start for me terrible. My hand.
Yeah.
I took a picture to send goals later. It was like a Guzma, superior energy retrieval, 2 energies, and a Devo spray, I think. It was totally dead hand. And the Guzma play early was because I was sitting onto 3 energies and the Wishy-Washy and the Guzma. And he discarded the Giratina with the paddle compressor. So if he take him back to the field, can ping the Wishy-Washy and take my only way out in the game at that point. Therefore, the next 2 turns was top deck like another energy, and the next one was Iona.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Then we saw the Iona come down, being like the first major supporter that you had play there. So bailed you out of that hand and allowed you to kind of get into the game. But after that, man, it was just world class from there. You stabilized. You were able to assemble the attackers. We never saw the Whale Lord come into play that first game. It never made its way in as we saw Espio kind of gatekeep it as best as he could. But in doing so, he left the Inteleon on the board for the whole game. And that was kind of what we were able to see, is that Inteleon just kind of kept mowing through prizes. There was one turn where we thought that it was going to get a little dicey for you, where there was a potential to remove, as much as he could from your board with a Lost Mine play, and then leaving one on your Giratina potentially or not your Giratina, your Wishy-Washy, to potentially have to flip it back into the deck, which then that flip ends up becoming tails, because on the turn that you do flip, it ends up going back in. So it could have got really dicey there quickly, but, just the pathing that you decided to take left you in such a strong board state, strong position, going forward there. The cape on the Inteleon was huge, because that very next turn, he's got the potential to knock out multiple targets with the Lost Mine. It's all there right on board that very next turn. So just perfectly played the way that you mitigated your risks. That's what I told the guys. The way that you played over the course of this tournament, and the way that I've seen you play, you've accounted for so many different outcomes that it's left you in a position where you're so flexible in what you can do. You're not locked into one play. And that's such a strong position to be when you're a water player, because the more outs that you can put yourself to with off of a Drizzile or, off of the Inteleon, you want to be able to do multiple things and not be locked into one. And you've just played it so perfectly over the course of these games that, it's really to be commended.
Thanks so much.
This guy's a psychic player. He's used to doing everything in one turn anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my favorite type at the moment is psychic, but I really was on the line with ghouls for this tournament and for this state of play and meta. That Milo Pump is definitely top three, top two best deck of format. And also the testing that came before the these finals, well, the like key points was the not overbench, like keep it on the line on the sport Pokemon, because there are the the best target for he to capitalize on going blindside Natu, lost mine, multiple prizes, and I will really like stick to that plan. For me, it was a relief to see blindside on the lost one.
Yeah.
And another of our conclusions with goals was that the will is, yeah, it's strong, but it takes so many resources and so many energies, and can go really bad against a big Shining Arcana hit or a constant ping and then a big turn to wipe the table. So it has the potential to hurt him really bad, but it's not the key point. So to keep it on board, it keeps the threat there for his side, but not committing all the resources on playing around the whale. I think that was the key point for my victory in game one. And my last turn in game one, I have the scoop up net, so maybe I can survive one more turn. Not the because Espio says that he has game on board, but I was sitting on a scoop up net. But the only resource I got in hand was the the escape rope.
Yeah, you were down a
And I was
lot there. And the escape rope, I'm so glad you're about to talk about that card, because that's one of the changes that I made this weekend from the Ghoul 60 was onto your escape rope. And man, did that card pull its weight this weekend, just being able to push and pull. And even when your opponent's got such a limited bench, that's where I found the most strength with it this weekend. You know, I would have an opponent with one bench Pokemon that they're trying to power up, and that thing's not safe with escape rope in the list and melodic, and be able to bring it back multiple times. So, yeah, so go ahead with your escape rope. You had the rope in hand.
Yeah, and an Avery and the Abyssal Hand. I top decked the whale, so it was the correct play to lost mine all the
Right.
12 counters
Yeah.
on the Whalmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we noticed
and
that.
I was like, okay, I have like 2 outs, and one of them is finding Wishy Washy and Superior. And I'm glad that I managed to get that through that. that. And about the escape rope, it has, well, a lot of versatility. It has this offensive potential at the start of the game, where you can go and really punish the low, like, bench size
Yes.
of a player. Against Dragobox is really good. If the Dragobox player like charge the Raging Bolt and goes for like Silent Lab, KO Manaphy or another supporter, you can really punish the other attackers and left the whale in front of the Raging Bolt, and the Raging Bolt can only go for 130, and next turn you go Malamalana, and
Oh goodness.
yeah.
There's a lot
But
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There is.
I learned that this weekend for sure. My matchups in
so
my matchups
nasty.
in Atlanta, it was a room full of Drago box. I played against four Drago boxes on the day. I believe it was 4 or 5, something crazy like that. So
Yeah, it's really good to punish those kinds
those
of
kinds of
scenarios,
plays. Yep.
and also in the late game, because another usual play that your opponent will do is try to stall you with one of your supporters, and well,
Yes.
blue the air balloon or float zone, So that's another scenario where, because we are not playing the Excalibur line and we are relying on tools and Guzma and ScoopUpNet, but ScoopUpNet has better uses. So we are relying on Guzma and tools to get out a free retreater and so. Therefore, I came up with the, man, this deck needs the escape room.
Yes, sir. Yep. Couldn't have been right. Couldn't have been more right, for sure.
Definitely right call. As soon as we played the game, like in our finals match.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the finals match. In our top 4, I drew I artillery on that last game. On the last turn of the game, I top decked Battle VIP, and if that was because I swapped out Battle VIP for Escape Rope after that game.
Mm-hmm.
I was like Escape Rope would have won me that game. And anyway, it's just a testimony. I mean, what a great eye!
Yeah,
I mean,
good choice.
I mean, after playing, we have a lot of experience now at this point with the deck, just across the board with so many great players picking it up. It's just kind of really shows it's kind of odd that people will try to stall against you so much, and really people, turns out they struggle against a really aggressive whale lord, and so being able to just again energy saving, it helps you in your resource management with your energies. It helps you get into an aggressive attacker more. It helps you get around maybe that last thing, because I mean, you'll find that people try to law zone the whale, right? They'll try to do all kind of stuff. Sometimes you lose access to the whale, but with the other two main attackers and Teleon and Wishy Washy, I mean, Escape Rope takes those guys and just puts them in a way more threatening situation.
Yeah.
And it allows you to disrupt their board with Avery and get something out of the active that you don't want to punish with, and lets you play Hex the same turn. It's such a good card in the deck. But I mean, what a testimony to you as a player, Ravi. It was nuts just seeing you just demolish it. I mean, you ran over me and our top 4 match. Just well done.
Yeah. He told me going into it, he's like, I have a plan, I think, in the mirror. And I was like, okay. And then I watched him execute that plan, and it won him the mirror. So it's one of those things where we're sad to see one of our guys go out, but again, just like Espio, you're one of our guys. So as we wrap up here, any closing thoughts, Ravi? Anyone you want to shout out? Anything you want to get off your chest before we, pin you the champion for the last time tonight?
Wait, I have to ask Ravi this real quick. Ravi, sure. Why? Just because they're, I'm going to go after the water community here. Mm-hmm. Why would you play Milo Pump over Hydro Pump?
Over what, please?
like regular Hydro Pump.
Oh, give me 1 second. Okay. Well, my first approach with the classic pump, or the previous Leviathan deck with the previous Whaler, I was like, 2 rain dancers, too many setup, too slow, not my thing. And only playing the Excalibur line, or I think it was relying too much on Irida, Go Irida, Excalibur, and Candy. I was like, okay, this new whale is huge, and it's great. 240, it's a atrocious number for GLC. there is practically no GLC deck that can deal with a whale turn 2 or turn 3.
Right.
And this deck has the potential to do it and put the opponent on this tough spot. And pretty much the decks only lose to himself, to a bad setup, is like face or really bad pricing.
Or just a mirror match, right?
Or just a mirror match, yeah, for sure. um, and also lose to decks that can aggressively like capitalize and punish your supporter Pokemons. But if you manage to get like turn 2 Ball Guy, turn 2 Aresu, turn 2 what one
There's
of
9
the
different ways to get there.
yeah, so it
Turn
has
2
the
level
potential.
ball with Sobble on the
It has
board.
yeah, has the potential, has also the comeback potential, can really put you on a tough spot on the early game, on the late game, like hand disruption plus whale and cape. What do you do about that?
Yeah, very nice. Well, like you showed off the deck greatly. Like you're just such an incredible player again. Congrats on the win. I won't get in the way anymore. If you have any last words you want to say.
Yeah, shout out to my Chilean friends. I don't know if they are still in chat, so shout
They
out
have
to
been.
Artie,
They've been popping.
to
It's been popping off.
Javier, and William. Thanks for the support. Shout out to my girlfriend, and I think it's also seeing the, um, the stream. And again, shout out to you guys. Thanks for all the things that you do for the community. Shout out to Cardboard Warriors as a server,
Sure.
as a community. And that's all for now.
Cool,
Have a good
cool.
one.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning in with us tonight. On behalf of the Turbo Blaze team and family, Spencer, Ghouls, myself, and our champion, Ravi, once again, congratulations. We'll see what he's got planned for the rest of, this year and season. So, congratulations.